I went for the 40-day death fast to try to starve myself to death, or prove to myself I was God in 2014. In meditation, the universe explained to me that if I was serious I was allowed 3 things: liquid, solid and gaseous. Of course, I have to pick water, right? I said, how about coffee as my solid? The universe replied with something similar to, oh man, he's getting it. That childlike inner voice questioned, I wonder if weed would count as gaseous. I then said weed. I heard the universal consciousness open up with laughter and praises. He's got it. Maybe he is the one. I began the 5th of March, Ash Wednesday, and just like Gandhi and most high occultists, I messed up on day 21. My landlord got scared when my uncle called him to tell him I hadn't eaten in 3 weeks, and was trying to starve myself to death, so he brought me a salad, knowing I was vegan, consisting of nothing more than iceberg lettuce, 1 carrot, and 1 tomato. The little kid in me thought, what can it hurt? There's not even any nutritional value here. This carrot died in vain. I don't even eat tomatoes. What a waste of life. I felt obligated to respect that life by consuming it instead of having it be put to waste. I went ahead and ate the salad. As soon as I was done, I heard a voice, larger than I had ever heard before, ask, was it worth breaking your fast for this? I got so pissed off at myself that I screamed to the universe, start the clock over, bitches. I then went for another 40 days. By day 62, I realized the universe is mental and no more than a dream. My dream life became a very, very lucid dream. I was able to control the weather, travel through space and time, by mere thought, and a few other things not too many if you would believe. I then told the universe, if you want me to eat from this 3rd dimension, you'll have to hand it to me, knowing nothing was ripe in my garden. It can't be by a human or one of those cute service animal monkeys either. It'll have to be from some amazing unexpected force. The next day, while walking through my garden, I saw that my blackberries were red and far from ripe. I laughed and said, good try, but I'm not putting up with that shit. I don't ever have to eat again, and I won't unless it's perfectly ripe and harmless to nature, like the non-harm clause in the Hare Krishna diet. I turned the corner and there was an entire row of perfectly ripe blackberries. I began laughing with tears of joy in my eyes as I went to grab one of many empty 10 ounces coffee cans, which I was able to fill up completely. Later that day, I enjoy the best frozen blackberries I had ever tasted. I thought to myself, well, now that I've eaten all of the ripe blackberries, let's see how the universe is going to pull it off tomorrow. I woke up the next day, and again was able to fill that 10 ounces coffee can to the top one more time. Awesome. I yelled to the universal consciousness, I understand. The universe will always provide. I said to myself. I was able to eat a full can of blackberries every day for 21 days, but by the end of the 3rd week my ego yelled out, jokingly, fuck this shit. Do you expect me to eat blackberries for the next 1,000 years? No, it's all good. It's not like I need it. Thank you for showing me who I am and how this dream we call life really works. The next day I headed out to the garden with my empty coffee can, and was only able to fill it halfway full. I said, oh hey now. I'm sorry, you the big me. No, I was joking. I deserved that. Whatever you have in store for me is more than I need. At that moment I looked past the blackberry bushes to see what I thought was a crabapple on a tree I had never seen before. I worked my way through the thorns and pulled that crabapple off the tree. It tasted like a bitter crabapple. Then that childlike inner voice reminded me what a tree told me a couple months earlier. We were designed by the big U to live in symbiotic relationship with each other. The fruit that falls from our branches is ready for you to eat. You eat of our fruit, then poop out the seeds for us to spread our kind wherever you travel. That is how we travel. I looked around and saw a couple of very red, soft crab apples on the ground. I picked one up and put it in my mouth, and to my surprise, it was the sweetest cherry I had ever tasted. Again I began laughing with tears of joy in my eyes as I filled up the rest of the coffee can with cherries. The next 2 days were the same. I was more than happy with the small variations in taste, knowing food was completely unnecessary. I thought to myself, maybe this 10 ounces can is the perfect daily allowance. Thank you me, I said in love to the universe. The next day I returned expecting the same, half blackberries, half cherries, but to my surprise, I was able to fill the entire can with blackberries again. I went inside to grab another can and was able to fill that entire can with cherries. I then realized in 3 weeks or so my 5-pear trees will start dropping pears. The universe will always provide. It's impossible to die in a dream, I reminded myself. A can of each continued for another 3 weeks. I drew out a plan for the rest of my human experience. 1. Get another high-paying photography job in oil and gas for 6 months, even though it destroys the planet. 2. Buy a Mercedes Sprinter and convert it into a mobile recording studio. 3. Say goodbye to my past and move to California to sell my catalog of music to a Japanese record label, Sony. 4. Sell out to the Tokyo market for 3 months to raise enough money to buy a small island. 5. Build a permaculture Zen garden registered sign on that island, with a 3D printed hempcrete village powered by alternative energy sources. 6. Throw the most amazing EDM festival 4 times a year on the solstices and equinoxes exclusively for the elite children of the top 10%, showing the Trustafarians how to effect change with their parents' money in the cities they held power in by turning all front yards and public land into community gardens as they were intended, eliminating world hunger and allowing the homeless to focus more on their productive dreams instead of where they'll get their next meal. 7. When the conversion has been completed and the societies of the world are no longer reliant on government, take out the existing power grid with multiple EMPs bringing capitalism to an end. The next day, Nathan, a very good friend who I helped get into oil and gas, offered me the job I had imagined. He asked me what I was doing. I told him this true story. He jokingly asked if I was still fasting, and if I wasn't he would bring me an awesome vegan dinner from Chipotle, registered sign making my fast a total of 105 days.